rain, the really strong winds.
En esta parte de South Beach sabrán que para llegar de...
To get very serious conditions here.
And now things are really starting to pick up. We're starting to feel that leading edge.
Thank you for joining us tonight on First Coast News. I'm Anthony Austin.
And I'm Heather Crawford. We're so glad you're with us. We will get you right back out to Arlington, Texas for the second half of the Cowboys-Giants game, but we wanted to give you the latest right now on Hurricane Irma.
So this is what we know at this hour. A possible tornado touched down in St. Augustine.
Now, as for the bridges, all intracoastal bridges are shut down in Duval County right now. That includes Beach Boulevard, Atlantic Boulevard, JTB, and Wonderwood. And all the St. Johns County bridges are closed as well. Now, they will not reopen until the storm is over and the bridges are inspected.
So we're going to go ahead and toss things over now to a First Coast News storm expert, Tim Deegan, with the very latest on Hurricane Irma's path.
All right, thank you, Anthony and Heather. And the current wind speed gusts, well, they continue to gradually increase. Notice the gusts. Now, this is just recently. Gusts in the 40s to near the 50 range, occasionally up to near 60. We've seen some gusts as high as 61 miles per hour. We've seen sustained winds over storm force, and we're beginning to see the inland winds increase as well. Our forecast has not changed. Irma continues to gradually weaken. For those of you that follow the barometer, it's now, or the pressure within Irma is now rising at about 3 millibars an hour. That's good news for us. That supports the forecast, but doesn't really change our numbers. The only numbers that we're now changing are how much longer we have to worry about the tornadoes. We've had numerous tornado warnings. I expect we're going to have more. They tend to be tornadoes that might not produce winds any more than what we're forecasting of 70, but anything over 60 is enough to bring down a tree, bring down a limb, send the limb through a window, maybe land it on a vehicle. That's really one of our greatest short-term concerns, as in it's going to happen quickly. The long-term buildup continues as well. That is the combination of the rainfall totals. Now, this is not me saying we're going to have another 6 to 12 inches. When it's all said and done, about 12 inches of rain in Duval. We've had about 4 to 6 inches in Duval. Storm surge is going to peak at about 5 feet, but that's why flooding is widespread as far as street flooding, and I know that this is a concern for some of you, especially along the Intracoastal and the St. Johns who have property. I do think it's going to peak at about 5. If you eyeballed it during the day today before it got dark, whether we're talking about Nassau, Camden, and Glenn, Duval, St. Johns, or Flagler, Putnam, or Clay County. I mentioned all of those counties because they're either connected to the ocean, estuaries, or the St. Johns River, that the next high tide, and that depends on where you are, but the next high tide should be the highest one and should be only about a foot higher than what you saw this afternoon. And I think that's going to peak us at about 5 feet. Again,